Dear Mr. Stu, as a concerned parent, I've noticed that my child has been making unhealthy food choices lately. Despite my efforts to educate them on the importance of a balanced diet, they still prefer to eat junk food and sugary snacks. Yes, don't we all? This worries me as a parent because I want my child to develop healthy eating habits that will benefit them in the long run. Is there any advice or strategies you can recommend for me to help my child make healthier choices when it comes to eating? Thank you for all your content. Well, thank you for watching the content. That means a lot to me. This is another big one. Man, I love, these are like some big questions that I get fairly often. So isn't it encouraging to know that there are other parents, there are other caregivers dealing with the same things that you are dealing with? Because if one person wrote this question into me, that there are tons more people who have the question and just didn't write it in. I love this question, and it is one that I get asked fairly frequently, to the point where even recently I went and got connected with a food expert, or a eating disorder expert. That's what I should say. An eating disorder expert who was able to talk with me even more about how to help children make healthy choices when it comes to eating. So let me tell you the main thing that can help a child make healthier choices when it comes to eating is to make the healthy thing be the easy thing. And I'll talk about that with food, but I'll also share with you that that's how you kind of help kids learn to do everything. You make the thing that you want them to do the easy thing. With food, it looks like this. It's rather than just having tons of bags of individual chips and cookies and everything like that on hand, and then making the apples that you have be dirty apples that need to be washed off and sliced up before a child can eat it. Well, when a child is hungry, they're just going to go for that lowest common denominator. What's the easiest thing that I can just reach and grab? It's the chips, it's the cookies. You want to make the thing that you want them to do be just as easy. So it could be something as simple as each week preparing some fruit cups or something like that, or even buying the individual fruit. Now that can be expensive, so I don't blame you if you don't want to like buy the individual thing, but make it as easy as it would be to grab the chips. And if you'll do that, then it becomes an easier choice. If a child says, I'm really hungry, I want a snack, and then they think about all the steps that they're going to have to take to make something healthy, that's not something they're going to want to do. They're going to want to just grab the quick and easy fix. So we as the adults have to help them. Then over time we can start to take off some of those things that we've done that have made it easier. But at first, and as they're learning and as they're developing, it could be that they're at a developmental stage where they're not ready to do all of those things on their own just yet. But as we are helping them to learn these things and be able to implement them, then we need to make it easier for them. So it could be buying carrot sticks rather than having whole carrots with still the stems on them, which is hilarious like Bugs Bunny. But having carrot sticks, having grapes, having berries, going ahead and slicing apples or peeling oranges, whatever it might be, so that the healthy thing is right there to grab, just like the unhealthy thing is right there to grab. If you'll do that, then you can start to shift them towards that healthier thing because it's just as easy, and you can limit the intake on the more unhealthy option. But let's talk about how you can do this in other areas as well. I was recently talking to a parent who was struggling with their child lying fairly often. And I started to explain this concept to them to make the thing you want them to do the easy thing for them to do. And a lot of times we want kids to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. But that's really hard, and it's really scary for kids when they think about actually doing that. So even in telling the truth, you can make it easier for the child. It's not that you want to lead them. It's not that you want it to be just as simple as saying, yes, that's what I did. Please shut up and let's end this conversation. You don't want it to be like that, but you can make it a little bit easier by giving them the benefit of the doubt or by helping them save face, even though there's going to be some trouble about what they're about to share with you. So it could be that they got in trouble at school during the day, and rather than sitting them down in front of you and saying, tell me what happened at school today, your teacher called me, tell me what happened, that's going to be really hard. That's really hard to do the thing you want them to do. But if you can sit down calmly with them and you can say, hey, I heard that there was some trouble at school today. Here's what your teacher told me. What do you think about that? Do you see how that makes it so much easier to at least start telling the truth? Or if your child is struggling with cleaning up their room, maybe you get out the cleaning supplies for them to start. I'm not saying you're going to have to do that for the rest of their life. A lot of times people say, oh, well, we need to stop coddling these kids. They're going to grow up to be kids who can't do any, adults who can't do anything. And that's true. If you continue that same strategy for their whole life, yes, they're going to end up needing somebody to get the cleaning supplies out for them. What I'm saying is if you have an 8-year-old who needs to learn how to clean their room, maybe you can help them out a bit by getting out the supplies. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that when they are 17, you're going to need to get out everything for them so that they'll clean their room. That's not it. But as they're learning, let's make the thing we want them to do easier for them. So maybe you get out the cleaning supplies. Maybe you clean alongside of them to start so that they can even see what your expectations of this cleaning thing is. It can be any number of things, but with any behavior that you are teaching your child that you want your child to do more, think how difficult is it for them to do this thing that I'm asking them to do? Is it really hard? Is it really intimidating? Could it be scary? If the answers to those questions are yes, then it's less likely they're going to be able to do it. Not that they're not going to want to, or that they're going to be holding up a middle finger to you saying, see, I told you I'm not going to do it. It's not that. It's just hard. It's hard. And we have to help them by making the thing we want them to do easier. All that to come back to food. If you want your child to eat healthier, make sure that the healthy food is easier. And then over time, they'll learn how to do some of those things on their own, and they'll start to be okay with that healthy choice more. And so then they'll be willing to go through a little bit more to get it. And then over time, you can release some of those safeguards that you've put up. But especially as a child is learning, help them by making it an easy thing for them to do.